Been watching a documentary on World War II recently, Ken Burns. It's really good. And Rosie the Riveter, the women working in the factories making airplanes and bombs and just everything that we needed for the war because all the men were off actually fighting the war. And all of these women came into the factories, filled them up, and did just as good a job as men for the most part. They might not have been as physically as strong, but they got the stuff made and it worked wonderfully. You couldn't have asked for a better workforce, and they could do it, and they did it just like that. I mean, they didn't have to be retrained to be like men. They came in there as women, and they can work because they're smart, and they care about winning the war, and they are going to do what needs to be done. And it's not that women can't do what men can do. It's that for the most part, they don't want to. Is that they would rather do other things. And if they're needed, if it's desperate and they have to get in there, they will come and do it. But if it's not needed, then there's other things that they enjoy more and that we need vitally as a group of human beings, as a group of animals. We need a whole force of femininity raising the next generation. And men, I have a good friend who's a psychologist who thinks that men and women are the same because he was a hippie in the 60s, and he talks about his wife and him and their granddaughter, and she can sit down on the floor with their granddaughter for an hour playing whatever they play, dolls or something. And he said, I can't do it for but 5 minutes. And he's confused. And I'm like, look, we're different. Your wife sits down there with that child and is watching her develop, is learning things about that child. How can she help that child? It is a whole intellectual experience that during the war, they applied to making airplanes because we had to have airplanes or we were going to get taken over. But as soon as they don't need to do that, then they would rather apply that to raising children. And it's the same dedication and the same understanding. We went to high school and college with all of these girls. They can do advanced math better than men probably, but they just aren't that interested in it because they have more important things to work on. We got to be honest or it's never going to get right.